Are you curious about the average cost of replacing a wheel bearing? We have the solution and some tips to remember when replacing this crucial part. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. Replacement cost. The average cost to replace a wheel bearing is between $250 and $1,100. The parts will usually only set you back $100 to $300 with labor accounting for the majority of the cost. The cost to have the wheel bearings installed by a professional can range from $150 to $800. It might be necessary to hire a professional to replace certain wheel bearings since they need specific tools. This may raise the price. Additionally, the price will vary based on whether you are replacing a front or rear bearing. It might be necessary to replace the entire wheel hub with bearings and the ABS sensor in some car models. This will result in a slight decrease in labor but an increase in part costs. The average cost of replacing a wheel bearing for a few well-known car models is shown here. The year and model of your ride may also have an impact on the price. Factors affecting replacement cost. The price of replacing a wheel bearing can vary depending on a number of factors. These are some of the most crucial elements you ought to consider when figuring out how much a replacement will cost. OEM versus aftermarket. OEM wheel bearings are the best option if you want a repair that looks like it came from the factory. The car manufacturer made these to mimic the performance you would have anticipated from the vehicle when it left the factory. OEM parts are inevitably going to be more expensive, and getting them might require a trip to the dealership. However, a large number of aftermarket businesses are making wheel bearings for less money. Just be sure that before choosing a different brand, you check the warranty duration and customer feedback. Vehicle make and model. It will significantly alter depending on the kind of vehicle you drive, just like any other car part. Wheel bearings can vary greatly in price. Some cars will require inexpensive ones, while others may require much more. The wheel bearing itself will cost more in certain car models because, as we mentioned earlier, the wheel bearing includes both the ABS sensor and the entire wheel hub. Bearing type. What kind of bearings your car uses will determine how much it costs. You might require ball bearings, which are composed of friction-reducing hardened steel. Modern car models are more likely to use this kind of bearings. On the other hand, there's a chance that your old car has roller bearings, which are typically less expensive. In order to minimize friction, roller bearings use rollers between the inner and outer parts. Greater support for heavier loads is provided by the increased contact area. Another kind of roller bearing is the needle bearing, which lacks adjustability and uses smaller needles. Serviceable versus unserviceable. The easiest hub assemblies to work on are the serviceable ones. In order to avoid disassembling the suspension, the wheel bearing and wheel hub separate from one another. Replacement of the bearing alone is not feasible in non-serviceable hub assemblies. In this scenario, a new hub would be required. DIY versus professional. Wheel bearings are often replaceable in a home garage with the right tools and a little mechanical know-how. There are no labor costs associated with this method. But you might find that you need more tools than you have on hand, which could raise the price of replacing the wheel bearing. You must bring the car to an auto repair shop if you are not ready to replace the wheel bearings yourself. The kind of mechanic you use, the kind of car you drive, and your location all affect labor costs. Unless you already have a solid rapport with a trustworthy mechanic, it's best to shop around for a reasonable labor rate before deciding. How often should bearings be replaced? Your owner's manual won't contain a wheel bearing replacement schedule, but in general, you should replace the wheel bearings between 80,000 and 200,000 miles. The routine maintenance does not cover this part. Wheel bearings are typically intended to last the entire life of your vehicle. Even so, a lot of people eventually discover that they need to be replaced. The environment, your driving style, and regular habits can all have a big impact on how long wheel bearings last. You may need to replace your wheel bearings more frequently if you drive on uneven roads, through mud, or deep water. It's also more likely to happen if your tires are unbalanced, you have overweight loads, or the prior wheel bearing installation wasn't done correctly. It may be time to consider what can be done to extend the life of your wheel bearings if you find that you need new ones on a regular basis. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.